Hi, good evening, dear friends, and welcome to our weekly online event diving into Dhamma live Q&A with Bhante Sumitta. I'm your host, Dulani Gunasekara, and I'm truly excited to be here with all of you today. Every Friday at 6 p.m. PST and Saturday 6:30 a.m. IST, we gather here on the Dhamma USA YouTube channel to engage in enlightening discussions and Q&A sessions with the esteemed Bhante Sumitta. So mark your calendars for every Friday at 6 p.m. PST and be ready to tune in to these insightful sessions with Bhante Sumitta, who holds a PhD in the subject matter. And the wisdom that he imparts is a guiding light for us all on our spiritual journey. So without wasting any more time, let's invite Bhante to the studio. Everyone Saranai?
Everyone, Saranai, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you again with our Q&A session. This is session number 6.
Yes.
So, the Q&A session is aimed at helping our community when we do have questions. A lot of people actually ask questions from us from time to time, and we will try our best to help them in our capacity. So we would definitely like to use this opportunity, this forum, to address all of them. So, yeah, here we go.
Okay, so we will start off with a question that I have. Is so placing ourselves through a layperson's perspective, how would we explain in simple words from a Buddhist perspective that everything is impermanent?
Yeah. So, I think impermanence is pretty much integral to each and every part of our life. There is nothing we can call permanent. So all conditioned things are impermanent. How do Buddhism teach this impermanent? So I know like lay people want to assume that everything is permanent. Your job is permanent, your title is permanent, and your youth is permanent, your health is permanent, your many things. You want it to be permanent, but it is not so. So in Buddhist perspective, how we teach people about this impermanence, it happens through every single act that we do. For example, when we go to the temple, we offer flowers to the Buddha, right? And that actually is not to that statue that we offer, but to the noble qualities of the Buddha. But placing a fresh bouquet of flower reminds us the impermanence, because that fresh flowers, when you offer, is so fragrant and so refreshing, but after a while, these things will go away. That refreshness, that fragrance will be no more after a while. Maybe after a few hours, maybe after a few days. We see we have to actually remove them. We have to remove all those faded flowers. So when we offer flowers, we definitely have a very powerful teaching where a lot of people know how to recite that Pali stanza like Pujemi Buddhang Kusumena Nena Punyena Etena Labhami Mokkang Puppang Milayati Yathai Dhamme Kayo Tathayati Vinasabhava. So I offer this flower to the noble qualities of the Buddha. By the power of this, may I be able to go closer to the Nibbana. That is the idea. That is the kind of merit that we want to generate by doing it. And it is beautifully compared to a simile. Just as this flower decay, so is my body. So the flower will decay um, one way or another. And so is my life. I will also decay. I will also not be permanent. So when we offer flowers, we say that. It's a profound vipassana meditation actually. Anicca dukkha anatta. It reminds us that just as the flower decays, so is myself, and this body itself is impermanent from the very birth. For example, Dulani, if you can go through your past memory down the memory lane, you can open up your picture album of your family. You will see how you have changed over the last few decades, maybe 2 decades or something. You have changed a lot, right? And see how we have changed. And we know it is not going to be permanent. And we continue to change. And when we offer lamb, it is the same. It reminds us four kinds of deaths actually. When you offer a lamp, like the lamp need a wick and oil, and then also the light, and also the oxygen, and let's say wind, air. And without that, the lamp cannot exist. And lamp will go away if the wick is gone, or the lamp will be extinguished if the oil is gone, right? And if both of them are gone, then also the lamp will go away. Lamp will be no more. You can't see light anymore. And suddenly, even if the oil and the wick are there, still there, but suddenly a rush of a wind can come, and it will also extinguish the lamp. You see how life has been compared to the lamp. Just as that, we have, every one of us, you, I, everyone who watches this program, they all have lifeline. When we are born into this world, we have ayu, what you call lifeline. Every single thing, even a flower or even a tree or an animal or human being, they all have a certain limit, certain lifeline to live. When you are born with that energy, you are born here into this world. And that is called ayu. And you also have the karmic energy that you have been born in when you are born into this world. So it is said, when you live into this world, when you come into this world, you have ayu and you have karma. Okay. And those two energies, if one of them will go away, this body can survive. If the line is gone, if someone's lifetime is gone, even if the karmic energy is still there, he or she can survive. No matter how much we try with the machines, with the latest technology that we have, we can't make that person live anymore. That is the truth, right? And even in today's fast forward ultra modern technology we still can make someone survive longer than their the lifeline. And sometime at the end of their lifeline, somebody can pass away. And same, even if someone has lifeline still, is the karmic energy. When you are born into this, we call janaka karma. And then we also have something called upathambaka karma. the Janaka karma is the karmic energy that helps us to come into this, to be born into this world. And then the Patambaka karma is the karmic energy that helps us survive in this world. Okay. So when we don't have that energy, that karmic energy also, you might pass away. You won't be able to survive. And if both of them gone, definitely this body will be gone, you know. And suddenly, even if you have karmic energy, your lifeline still there, but suddenly somebody might pass away due to an accident, due to a natural catastrophe. You might still die. You might still pass away. So that is why it is called the glorious impermanence, glorious uncertainty of life. We can see that. You see, when you wake up in the morning, you see that beautiful sunrise every single morning. Do you wake up before the sunrise? If you wake up before the sunrise, you probably can see beautiful sunrise over the eastern sky. And then evening, again, you see in the western hemisphere of the sky, we see that sunset every single morning. What does it teach us? Every single day, the sun rises and sun sets. That is like our birth and our death. Every single night, we go to bed. It is like our death. And we wake up after some hours of temporary death. It is like our birth in the morning. And so these few hours, we don't even know what has happened to us. Do you remember like what happened during the last night, like few hours when you sleep? You don't remember anything, right? You probably might remember some dreams. Other than that, you don't know what happened to your body. You don't know what happens around. You don't see, you don't hear, nothing. So that is like a temporary death. You see the impermanence. You see things are changing. That is how we see impermanence through our nature. And I would say every single time we open our eyes, we see the light, we see the world. It is like birth. And every single time we close our eyes, we don't see anything. It is like that. We don't see anything. It's a temporary death. It is all dark that we see, nothing else. And so it reminds us, every time it reminds us, naturally, you are born with the birth and the death, right? And then again, every single time you breathe in, you inhale, that is your lifeline. Ever since you were born into this world, you started breathing in, inhaling. That is like your birth, and you don't know what will be the last exhale that you are going to do, right? So every time we exhale, that reminds us, okay, there is something also to end our life, just like that. Every single time we breathe in and out, we can also learn that we are inherently um, living with this birth and death circle. So we can see the impermanence. Every single thing in this world, it's impermanent. I hope it helps.
Thank you very much. I think it's a very good explanation that you gave, especially to explain to someone who doesn't quite understand the concept of impermanence. It's a very good subject, at least more than I can explain it myself. Thank you very much. We have another question from Bhavani Chandrasekhar. She says, Namaste. Can the mind move out of the body and go to different places, planets, worlds, etc., and come back to the body, or is it the thinking of privilege, um, proliferation of mind about those places staying in the body.
I remember there is one Pali stanza in Dhammapada. The Buddha said, Ayu usmacha vinyana yada kayang jahantimam apavidho tada seti nirattangva kalinga. In order to survive in this world, I mean this body, okay? This body, this physical body, five aggregate, this skeleton, and with the flesh and blood. Also the other, to function, the other internal and external organs. We need to have ayu, life. Usma means the warmth. Okay, if the body is not warm, then these internal organs, external organs, they can survive. Probably, this usma can be cold, that warmth can be cold in some animals. I think, have you touched some animals? Maybe their body is like much colder, you know. So it is, whether it is cold or the warmer. I think it is mostly the warmer factor that helps us survive, but definitely it could be also the other way around in some other cases like this. And so internal body organs and external body organs, our skin, etc. In order to survive, we need to have that warmth. Okay, if it is not warm enough, I mean the balance, the required level of warmth is not there in the body, you will get either cold or fever. Right? You either get fever or cold. That is the truth. So we need to maintain that required right amount of warmth. And then the other thing is vinyana. As Bhavani mentions here, consciousness. So the mind or consciousness or vinyana, that should be there. And all these three things should be there within the body if we want to walk, if we want to talk, if we want to eat, if we want to think, we need. If we want to see and hear things, we need these things within this body. And that is why we can survive. I can talk because of that. If I don't have these things, I can't talk anymore. The Buddha said in that Pali stanza, Yada kayang jahantima, if those three things are leaving the body and apaviddo tada seti, then the body will lay down on the floor, on the earth, just like nirattangva kalingara, just like a dry stick, you know. Just like a dry stick, it will be gone. I think even the plants, we can see the plant when it has no life, the plant, if it is not warm enough, and definitely it doesn't have the consciousness like we do, according to Buddhist perspective. But even a very huge tree can survive. It will fall down. It will eventually decay and fall down. So the body needs the consciousness. What you try to say, like, okay, can we go? Can the mind move out of the body? I think that is out of the question. Like, but we have the mind. Mind is something that can travel. It's like if you went to the moon yesterday and today, you can just now, right here, right now, we can go to the moon and come back right away. The mind is the fastest ever the vehicle that we ever have. So mind can go away. But then again, that I think is the thought, that is the memory that goes, vinyana, the consciousness. is still there with. And also, according to Buddhism, there is nothing permanent. So even the vijnana, there is no permanent thing, something like that. It is actually conditioned. Like when we see something, we recognize it, okay, and that becomes the vijnana. Recognizing power becomes the vijnana. So then and there, it appears and it disappears in that time. So depending on this nama rupa, they are like the blind and the lame. They work together. The body, the physical body, and then the mind, they work together. They need to survive together, just like that.
Thank you, Bhante. I hope that answers your question, Bhavani. That's a very good explanation of the mind. I've also had another question related, but I think you already answered that question in many lives back. So,
Yeah, we can, of course, if you have a follow-up question, we can discuss.
sure. Um, but I have a question regarding, uh, in regards to anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Can you explain more about dukkha and anatta? Because I think these two topics can be difficult for a non-Buddhist to understand.
Hmm. Yes, I think as we mentioned, like anicca, the impermanence can be understood.
Mm.
The thing is, when something is permanent, then if it is a happy thing, then we can be happy. Let's say, like you want to be young, and so you see um, it is a happy thing. Good health is a happy thing. But when they are decaying, it is not a happy thing. Like you are young, and later on, maybe like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, when you go into these ages, you go right in front of the mirror every single day and trying to count the gray hair and try to recognize, identify the wrinkles, and you see your brightness is gone, your skin is not so shining like before, and your body is not so sharp and strong like before, not so agile like before, and then your mind also is not so sharp like before. You can see that, and every time you see that, you think of those young days, the strong days, the happy days, and then you worry about it. That makes you unhappy, right? So that is why people try to actually camouflage. Sometimes you don't want to show yourself an old person, so you try to camouflage. You use makeup. You use different kinds of beautification. Why do we do that? Because you don't want to show that to, at least to the outside world. You temporarily want to cover it, shield it, and then you want to actually project yourself as ever so young, ever so pretty, ever so beautiful person. Uh, because if not, you don't feel happy. You have dukkha, you have suffering. So the Buddha said, if something is impermanent, that is suffering. Yadanichang tam dukkha. If something is impermanent, that is suffering. And if something is suffering, that means we also can't really control. We don't have control over these things, right? No matter how much you can go to the gym every single day, you can take vitamins, you can take the best available food in the world, you can be surrounded by all the best available medical team around you for every single defect in your body system, but you still can't really survive You can really sustain the natural course of decaying, and that makes you worry. That makes you unhappy, and that is why the Buddha said, "Yang dukkhaṃ tadanatta." If something is impermanent, if something is suffering, that means there is no particular permanent entity, what we call soul. That is the idea. So actually, it is a very complicated thing. I can imagine, like, for non-Buddhists, it's hard to understand, but you can actually see for yourself. If you want to see for yourself, like, let us say, like, you meditate. Okay, there are different techniques, like breathing meditation, for example, anapanasati. And when we breathe in and breathe out, when we closely looking at this breathing practice, you see every time we breathe in, you have um, one one moment, and then related thought also appears. Like when you say breathe in, you have the physical action of breathing, right? And then also you have the recognizing, okay, I am breathing in. So what does it mean? You have the rupa, and you also have the nama. You recognize that action. So I remember, like, Bhante Chandavimala, he mentioned in his Satipatthana Sutta, Satipatthana Bhavana, it's in Sinhala. So he actually teaches about the belly movement. Okay, every time we focus on our belly movement, squeezing and expanding, so you recognize your action and you recognize your thought. So you see these actions and thought, they are working in tandem, working together. So that's actually very interesting, and how you can continue to meditate upon that. And every single action you do in a day, you can focus. Like when you walk, when you talk, when you go to bed, when you eat, every time if you think of the action you do, you can also recognize there is a mind related to that. There is a thought related to that. So you can see they are working together. So, but they appear and they disappear. There is nothing permanent. Even in all the thoughts, they appear and right away they disappear. We can really say that is mind. Let's say you are angry now. You can't say the anger is mine. Okay, because you react to a certain situation, and then the anger appears, and then anger also disappears. Let's say you are very happy right now. Okay, that happiness also will not survive forever. When you meditate, you might be happier, or when you have a good food, you might be happy. But that happiness is not permanent. You can really control, and suddenly, in a spur of a second, a moment, and you react to some other situation, and you get angry, you get sad, you get upset. You see, the happiness is replaced by the upsetting mood. So all these things can happen to us. We don't have any control over that. And according to Buddhism, every single thing is subject to change, and we can't say there is anything permanent. Although we think this body is permanent, we know it is not permanent. We have changed a lot over the course of our lifetime. So we can see, but every time we go in front of the mirror, maybe you don't see it right away. But every time, like cells are appearing and disappearing in our body, we are decaying every single moment. Even while I'm talking, many millions of body cells are dying and born. That happens, right? And after maybe a course of some years only, I can really see that. But if not, I can't see. For example, I know like I shave, okay? I don't have hair. So when I shave, I don't see them. But maybe after a few hours, maybe after a day or two, I can see the little hair is coming down, right? So it doesn't show up right away. It shows up later on. But if we see that through a microscopic lens, we can see it appears and disappear. Even the little hair particle, it's appearing and disappearing. That is there. So the body also is not there. So we think this is permanent. We think this is me, I, me, myself. That is what we call self-identity in Buddhism. So when we keep on meditating, keep on practicing, keep on learning the Dhamma, we know there is nothing permanent. There is no atta or permanent entity.
Thank you very much. I'm sure I can definitely send this explanation to people who may not know about dukkha and anatta. I had actually a recent situation with someone asking about dukkha, and I tried my best to explain in the most simplest words, but they still
Yeah,
couldn't understand. So, this is a very good
it's
explanation.
hard. Because actually, life, for example, it doesn't mean like you have to be. We talk about this impermanent. Okay, life is changing. Life is impermanent. It is also full of suffering.
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean that you have to be grumpy all the time. You don't have to be sad all the time. You just have to realize the suffering, the truth of suffering is to be actually seen and understood. So, dukkha satya, that is to be seen, not to be like given. It is to be seen. You have to recognize it. You have to identify it. That is the thing. It will help us. Actually, eventually, you need to know why you are suffering. Why you are suffering? Because of your attachment. For example, my body, I have an attachment to this body. So if something bad happens to this body, I feel sad. And if somebody says something to me that hurts my ego, then I'm angry, right? If somebody actually appreciates me and all the time valorize me or glorify me, then I'm very happy. Why it is that? Because I think this is me. I think I me myself. And if something who is so close to my life, maybe my mother, my father, my brother, sister, other friends, relatives, teachers, elders who are close to me, if something happens to them, then I don't feel, I just reciprocate. I react to them. Why? Because I have that attachment. So the suffering happens. The more you are attached to something or someone, the more you suffer. Even if a pet. I know a lot of people talk to me about their loved ones and also the pets.
Mm.
And when they pass away or when they get sick and they feel really, really suffering. But they don't have the same suffering when something happens to another pet. It is way different. And if something happens to another person, it is way different. Why? Because you don't have that attachment towards the other people. So the attachment makes us suffer. So the root cause of suffering is that craving, the attachment. So in order to get rid of that, we actually get rid of the root cause of the suffering. That is why we call Nibbana or Nirvana. Vana means craving. Bana means craving. All kinds of attachment, all forms of desire. And Nirvana or Nibbana is the absolute absence of all sorts of attachments and cravings and desires. That is not to be born in another beautiful realm. It is just the status that we maintain the absolute absence of craving, desires.
you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, I have another question. In honor of Binara Poya full moon, which I think is coming tomorrow, can you explain the importance of practicing the eight precepts in terms of dana, sila, and bhavana?
Hmm. Okay. It is actually not binara. You have written here long. It should be short. So binara poya. I think I have the list of poya days in our website, or the details. But yeah, um, like the full moon day is a very important day to many of us, because the moon can impact our life to a greater extent. When you see the moon, you feel happy, right? Full moon, so happy. And you can also see how the earth, certain elements of the earth reacting to the full moon, like the tidal waves, for example. You can see them working. And moon has also some kind of a calming effect. It can also help us, actually make us happy. And also it can sometimes, to some people, you can go off the track. People can go like crazy. People can go mad. People can go out of their control, sometimes due to moon effect. So moon has some definitely physical impact on us. So this beautiful day, also it is very important that we practice, so that we can maintain. It is more into emotion. The moon is more into emotional side. So we need to actually maintain, balance that. We need to practice. That is why I think many religions, they have certain religious activities to balance the situation. In Buddhism, we have what we call uposatha, or eight precepts. So every single day you need to practice five precepts, and then on a full moon day you can practice three extra precepts. That can be very helpful. When you practice three extra precepts, first, the sixth precept, for example, how to abstain from um, food, right? Food, you avoid food at the untimely manner, like you don't eat dinner, for example. You skip dinner. All kinds of solid food you have to skip in the evening. Afternoon, you don't eat anything. So you feel much more relaxing, much more comfortable. For your body, I think it is also kind of a detoxing. You need a break. Your body also physically needs some break, because you continue to digest food otherwise. Your internal bodily system has to work a lot when you eat a lot. So when you eat less, that internal body system probably can be very happy. Oh, I get a break. you know so when you give it a break, it helps you, first of all, to abandon something. The food craving is one of the most difficult, challenging things for us to get rid of. When we see yummy, delicious, good-looking food, you really want to eat it. Your desires are all over. You are overwhelmed with desire. Food craving is a really powerful thing. So you need to control that. So you have something right in front of you. You need to know how to control it. Um, Actually, it happened to me this afternoon when we were having lunch dana with one of my fellow monks. I was talking, like, how do we control? Like, a lot of people offer us so many different kinds of delicious food, and then it is up to us to control ourselves, right? A lot of people bring so many different kinds of food, and we have to control. So we had some, there was some desert, like a Sri Lankan desert. So we don't have it quite often. And then I was talking to my fellow monk. Okay, why don't we have this dessert along with some tea? And then the monk said to me, "Oh, you are using it as an excuse to eat this." I said, "Oh, that makes sense. So maybe I will not eat the dessert. I will only drink tea." So sometimes we need to control our senses. I mean to say, it is very important. Sometimes you can see a lot of food right in front of you, very favorable food and good looking or yummy or whatever, nutritious or delicious. And okay, I don't eat it today. I see it, I don't eat it. So you control your senses, which is not so easy. Some might say, okay, this is crazy, why don't you eat? But it is the matter of our discipline, how we can control ourselves, how we can discipline ourselves. That is important. So once you decide, okay, I'm not going to eat, you're not going to eat. Okay, if you are not going to eat dinner, you're not going to eat, and your mind will also not ask it anymore because you already have decided. If you sincerely, honestly decide that you don't want to eat it, your body will not actually ask it. That is the truth. So yeah, you make it a habit, it's beautiful. So Vikala Bhojana. And also the seventh precept is about beautification of the body, right? So all kinds of ornaments, all kinds of makeup and other perfumes and all these things, maybe once a month you can be so natural. Let the natural wind kiss your body. um, touch your body and feel that nature with your body. So all the time, if you are full of makeup, and then you actually are not exposed to the nature. I remember sometime in the university, some people always have makeup. One day I asked, "Why do you have makeup all the time?" One young student, she said, "If I don't have makeup, my face will have a lot of what do you call um, like pimples and all those things. So I don't want to show them." I said, sometimes, once in a while, it is okay. Yeah, you have to be who you are. That is, many people try to cover it, but I think it is important that we just be honest, and it's okay. You just be yourself, natural. And that I think is a very good thing when you get rid of the beautification, entertainment, like favorite music and other shows or whatever. So you have a day for you on full moon day to practice, to look into yourself. That is the idea of practicing this scene. Even the Uchasayana Mahasayana, like comfortable cushions and all kinds of things, like lofty chairs, beds, you can get to sit on the floor sometime, once in a while. It is your Mother Earth. So stay close to your Mother Earth. So much the better for you, you know. You see how we are elevated, how we have distanced ourselves from the Mother Earth. Formerly, we used to sit on the floor, and a lot of people later they invented chairs, and then they invented beds, and so they were a little bit away from, distance themselves from the Mother Earth. And then earlier, people used to have the toilet system. You see what we call water seal, where you have actually a difficult posture, but it is really very helpful posture, like squatting. And later, people invented the commode, and it is like a very fancy chair. So you comfortably sit there, and you don't know how in the long run you have weakened your lower part of the body, and you don't have exercise to. So actually, we need to sit on the floor sometimes. We have to also sleep on the floor sometimes. Maybe just use a mat, simple mat, and sit on the floor. That will be a different experience. Yeah, I know it looks funny, but and can be weird. But in Buddhist society, people, especially in the traditional Buddhist society, they are much used to it. Even in India, I remember a lot of people they like to sit on the floor, and a lot of Southeast Asian country, like many people, they like to sit on the floor too. So it's really nice. It's really helpful. Especially when you want to meditate, you see how difficult it is for you to sit on the floor because you don't have the habit. So once in a while, you need to sit on the floor in your room. Make sure you try to sit on the floor while working with your computer or taking a cup of tea, and sit on the floor. That really helps. It really helps our meditation too.
Yes, that is very true. I remember when I had class for meditation the first time, it was very hard for me to sit on the floor because I haven't done it many often. And I remember my ankles would hurt a lot. And so I think it took time for my legs to become used to that I'm doing meditation. And then from there, it's not that hard to do meditation. But yes, that is true. We need to at least make more time for ourselves to sit on the floor to get used to it, or else we'll be kind of glued to our chairs most of our lives, which is not good.
Right.
So, thank you for your explanation. It was a very good one. Would you like to take more questions or
What time is it?
6:47?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We have a question from Bodhicitta. How does Buddhism help us deal with anxiety and perfection tendency?
Perfection tendency. Bodhicitta, can you also uh, explain a little bit what do you mean by perfection tendency? Yeah, I can definitely talk about anxiety. How do we help with anxiety? For example, every single day you practice meditation. You sit and keep on meditating with some object, maybe like thinking of the Buddha's noble qualities, Buddhanusati, or thinking of the breath, incoming and outgoing breath, or thinking of the mindfulness immersed in the body, and like Kayanupassana, and thinking of your own Vedananupassana, or the feeling or the sensation, or also the Chittanupassana, the mind, the thoughts that come to you every single time. If you can think of them, if you can recognize them, you can actually practice a wonderful meditation. And also Dhammanupassana, like everything is subject to change. Nothing is permanent. We can see in every single thing, like the conditioned things, how the three characteristics work, and they are integral part of the every conditioned thing in the world. So we can see Dhammanupassana, and when you continue to practice like this, you can actually feel yourself much more comfortable, and your anxiety will be gone. Because even anxiety, it can be a meditation objective. You can just close your eyes and read your thought, and you have anxiety. Now, what is anxiety? See, see for yourself. Let's say you are sad, you are angry, or you are hungry, or you are sad, whatever you have, You can just close your eyes and see that, read that. Don't look outside, but look into yourself and read it. Read the real time pain in you. And you try to recognize how does this this anxiety is affecting you. Why it is affecting you? Because you think this is me. This body is me. This body is I, me, myself. So you react to that. When the thought comes, the anxiety thought comes, you react to that. So you are angry or you are sad, you are upset. You can see actually how the body and the mind coordinates with each other when you react to that thought. And you have, first of all, you have the mind, you have the thought comes, thought appears, and your body reacts to that. And then your body reacts, like certain parts of the body, maybe heart, maybe if you have blood sugar, the blood sugar level will increase. If you have backache, the lower back or whatever, that will increase. If you have cholesterol, it will increase. If you have stomach ache, that will increase. So your weak point of the body will be attacked when you react to that. Okay, that is the thing. So you have to be really careful about that. But when you continue to practice, you will recognize, oh, I have the anxiety, and now I can see the blood rush, and I can see my palpitation, my heartbeat is increasing, and I can see my head is like reacting very negatively. You can actually see for yourself if you close your eyes and very quietly, without panicking, if you read your mind and read your thought, how your body is coordinating with the mind when you have that thought, you will see it appears and it has an impact in your body, and eventually it will go away. Just like everything else, even the anxiety is not permanent, it will also go away. But when you are mindful, the beauty of it is that it will not leave anything behind. It will go away because you are watching, you are mindful. That is why it is helpful. So, for example, if you want a quick remedy to any of you, if you want to practice, let's say you are upset, you are stressed, you are depressed, take a good long deep breath, close your eyes and take a good long deep breath and hold it for around 10 seconds and then slowly release and relax. Do it like a couple of times or more, and then you can close your eyes and read your mind and read your body. Pain, whatever happens due to that, you will see that it appears and it survives there for a while and it will go away sooner than later. So you will feel much more comfortable. Continue to do that, and then you see everything is impermanent, and it's okay. I accept it. If I have something, I accept it. The anxiety appears and anxiety disappears. Just like happiness appears and happiness disappears. So if you have attachment to happiness, and so at the moment of its existence you are happy, but the moment of its disappearance you are not happy. You see both sides. Anxiety is the same. Anxiety, when it appears you are not happy, and when it disappears you are happy. So even the anxiety is not permanent. So don't worry. Everything is changing, impermanent, and so we don't have to really take it for granted, like to be weak ourselves. Remember, all of us have inner peace, every one of us. We need to try so hard to maintain that inner peace no matter what happens around the world. That will be very helpful. So try to accept it, whatever, it's okay. You just read it, you just observe it, you will feel okay.
Thank you very much, Hamdan. I think that was a very good explanation, especially of how Buddhism helps us to deal with anxiety. I think that's a very common problem with a lot of students who go to college and university and have a lot of classes to deal with. So they have a lot of anxiety, depression, stress, everything all inbound together. So I think thank you, Bodhicitta, for that good question. It's a very good question, actually. Um, he actually commented saying, "Yes, Bante, it is a very scientific proven fact walking on barefoot can tune in with 7.83 hertz Earth's frequency, which heals lots of sickness."
Yeah, I know like how important it is for us to walk barefoot. When I was a young Samanera monk, for 7 years, I didn't wear any footwear. I was walking barefoot everywhere. But one day, I had an experience. So I was used to walk even on the during the midday, middle of the day. I could walk around across the street, which was really hard, very hard. But my feet was strong enough. But one day I stepped on a cigarette butt right in the middle of the day and right in the middle of the road. I was it was super painful. And like this so-called modern civilization actually has um, denied of that opportunity for us to walk barefoot. And still, there can be some places where you can safely walk barefoot, but in many civilization, things are happening. We see like the chemical fertilizers using of that. We have polluted the earth, so we can't really walk along that, and then you will get sickness. So you have to be careful. If you have a special place for walking barefoot, that is okay. Make sure it is organic. Make sure it is not contaminated. That is why in temples we have chankamana path, like the walking path, where we can safely walk. And it is specifically designed for walking. Yeah, walking is really good.
Mm, it's good to know about that hertz frequency. I didn't even know that specific unit. And Bodhicitta says, "Thank you very much, dear Venerable, for the practical advice." And he gives you many blessings. Um, so it seems that we are running out of time. So I know there's a lot more questions here, but if Bante is okay, do you want to continue more?
Yeah, maybe I will try to answer them shortly if you have.
Um, I
Uh,
mean, the next question is, I think, might require a longer explanation. I don't know. Um,
is that the JoJo's question? Or we can probably, yeah, we could
well, the
do.
next question is my question, but it might require more explanation. Um, do you want to try, or do you want to go to the next question available?
Okay, let's try like if there are some short answers.
Mm, yeah, let's try my question. We'll see how far we get.
Okay, one more question. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm asking, did the past Buddhas who awakened before also pursue the same mission for humanity of spreading the teachings of the Dhamma?
Yeah, I think the Buddhas are designed to help the many. If you and I are selfish, we could attain the Nibbana faster. But if you want to help more people, then your samsaric existence will be longer. And they are natural leaders. They have feeling for the other suffering beings, and they always want to help many. And that is why they want to practice more. They want to get themselves stronger more in order to help others. And the awakened ones, the Samma Sambuddhas, whether they are in the present or in the future or in the past, they will always be committed to help the many, for the well-being and happiness of the many. And the Four Noble Truths, that will be the thing. And then the dependent origination, three characteristics, these are actually not invented by the Buddhas. They are there in the world, but they come to this world from time to time, and they recognize it, they perceive it, they realize it, and then they teach us. Many of us, we don't see it until we are reminded by the Buddhas. You see, sometimes in our life, there are certain things that every single day we see, but we don't understand. But suddenly our teachers remind us, teach us, then we, oh yeah, I got it now. So until and unless somebody with a different perspective or different capacity, when they teach us, we recognize that is the truth. So the Four Noble Truths are there. The truth of suffering is there already. But our ignorance, our attachment, our craving are so powerful that we don't see. We don't see the truth as they truly are. We always try to see something else. We wear different lenses. We see things through that lens. And we have to get rid of all the lenses. And we see the naked, through the naked eye, through the mind also, with so many perspectives we have. We even have to get rid of them eventually. And then only you will see. The Buddha said the Four Noble Truths are right here within us. You don't have to look around. You can see it inside, within yourself. The happiness, the permanent entity, or the what we call lasting happiness, or the enlightenment, is not outside. It is not on the top of a mountain. It is not on the top of a tree or a sky. It is right here within you. So you have to close your eyes, stop looking outside. You have to look into yourself. This is called vipassana. Vipassana is to look into yourself. That specific, that special scene will be the vipassana. Yeah.
Thank you very much. This question was actually a question that one of my friends had asked me before, and I didn't have the proper answer to give it. So I will definitely send this explanation to her. I think it'll be very helpful for her. Do you want to take more questions?
I think probably I have some another meditation session um, um, in person, so people must have been here already. So maybe we can call it a day.
Okay. So I'm sorry for all the viewers who had more questions. They're very good questions, but as a tip, I would suggest for you to save your questions for our next session, so we can start off with those questions and then go on from there. But first of all, I would like to thank Mante for your insightful and elaborate answers to all of our questions, including mine as well. We all appreciate your valuable time to come on here and share your wisdom and knowledge with our friends, devotees from all over the globe online. And for our viewers watching, please make sure you're following on Dhamma USA socials, YouTube, and Facebook to be updated with the latest notifications. And additionally, like I said, if there were any questions that were unable to be answered, you can always bring them up in our next Friday session, and we will make sure to start off with those first. Thank you again for our viewers joining us, and we look forward to seeing you every Friday at 6 p.m. PST for Diving into Dhamma live Q&A with Bhante Sumitta. Before I end, maybe ask Bhante to deliver some blessing verses for us.
Thank you so much, Dulani. I really appreciate you trying to help your friends. It's very, very wonderful. You take their questions and you ask them on behalf of them. I really appreciate that. So you can you learn. Not only you are learning, you have a good heart to help your friends. It's really, really wonderful. And also, I would like to request you to record those unanswered questions so that we can start with them next week. All right. So, with that, I would like to conclude with the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem to all of you, those people who join us today. Ask the question even without asking, they just watch maybe. Hopefully it was helpful to you, and if you have any question, feel free to communicate with us, contact with us, and join us again next week at the same time. Where until then, may you all be well, happy, healthy. I would like to invoke blessings upon all of you and all your loved ones, near and dear ones, teachers and elders, to be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever you are. Abhivadana nichang vadha pachayino chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvano sukhang balam ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti niminati samityatu.
Sorry, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you next Friday at 6 p.m. PACT.